very warm welcome to all of you on this rainy day, but yet we have sunshines from our hearts. And We Learn is welcoming you to have a small candid conversation with Suvarna ma'am. She's been the author for the book that is When Anger is Good. I mean, what a title to get hooked on. And the moment I saw that anger is good, I felt that I'm justified to be angry, and that made me read this book in one go. Trust me, it was a book which I was not able to just keep it down and wait for the next Saturday to come in. I finished it within a couple of hours, and it is going to stay with me for a lifelong time. So a very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Just a few, kind of introduction, questions for us and for the audience to know about the book a little bit more in depth. So, like I said, is the title what we are talking about. What made you pick this title, which is such a strong book?
Okay, so I've always been angry. From the time I've been a small kid, I'm this full of tantrum kind of a child, I've always been full of tantrums. And I would not say tantrum, anger. Circumstances have been very, very, difficult. So you either become very passive, or you become very aggressive. That's how you react. When you're going to stuff, everybody reacts that way, I guess, that you get very angry or you get very passive. So for me, anger, I was very, very angry. My younger brother used to be very passive. He was the one who would keep quiet, and I would be the one who would rebel and yell and scream and throw a tantrum and throw things at people and everything. Luckily, I was supported by my mother in that anger because she was more angry than me. Yeah, if I would throw a tantrum, she'd throw a Dixie pan at me. So it was so anger wasn't family. Yeah, it was already there in the family. But what I realized was that whenever I was angry, I would always tend to do more. Which means that if my mom would say, पढ़ाई तो बिल्कुल नहीं करती है, then I would say, दिखा दी पढ़ाई करके, and I would study more. If someone gave me a task to do, I would do more when I was angry. Then I realized everybody does that. When you're angry, you run faster. When you're angry, you cook faster and you do things faster and more because you're angry. That kind of in my subconscious mind was always there. Anger may not be that bad. And anger is also good because when you are angry, nobody messes with you. Very important. Right? So, they're a backward is angry. So, but over a period of time, I realized that being angry is not a sin. Being envious is not a sin. Being greedy is not a sin. You're a human being. You're supposed to be that way. Unless you give up everything and go and sit on the Himalayas and that Gautam Buddha बनोगे तो अलग बात है. लेकिन नहीं बनना है अगर और ये जिंदगी में जीना है यही जीना है तो these negative emotions are not negative emotions. They're emotions. It all depends on how you utilize them. Right? So that maturity didn't come very early. It came much later in life after मतलब बहुत मार खाने के बाद in life much later. But when it did, it was a eureka moment for me. Right? It came as a moment of extreme realization, awareness that because at home, if I would be angry, give me an example, I'd come back after 2 or 3 days and the house is a mess, right? And nobody bothered to clean anything up. And I would be really angry and then I would start cleaning the bathroom, right? Cleaning the tops and dusting everything and people would say, "Nahi, hum karte hain," I said, "Back off." 3 दिन था करने के लिए किसी ने कुछ नहीं किया अब मुझे बताओ हटो and I would finish the entire house finish cooking a 5-course meal because I was angry right and because of I just kind of realized that when I was angry I was doing more I was writing more I was working more my project reports and everything were even better so everything seemed to be the outcome and the output needed was better than I was angry. And then plus I also was not getting angry at anybody, so it was getting channelized into accomplishment of something.
Right. So you diverted your energy
exactly.
to a much more positive output.
Absolutely. And then it also struck me that Mahatma Gandhi खुद गुस्से से ही शुरू किया उन्होंने अपना journey, right? He got thrown out of the compartment in Africa and then he got angry, he got insulted and then he started channelizing that into something large. So the guy who promotes non-violence, he started his journey with anger. I mean, so then I was thinking, ये कौन लोग हैं मुझे बोल रहे हैं गुस्सा मत करो पागल है क्या? महात्मा गांधी को गुस्सा होकर के आगे बढ़े. Nelson Mandela got angry and he did something for Apartheid movements and Shivaji Maharaj did something because he was angry. I mean, everybody did things because they were angry. They channelized it. So it is not that anger can't be bad. Anger is good. You only need to channelize it. Greed is not bad. It's good. You have to channelize. Every emotion it's an emotion. It is all about how you use it.
So how you make the negative into a positive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is what struck me, and I realized that anybody who was not angry enough was someone who was settling down in life.
Oh,
I am happy.
complacent.
Bus,
Yeah.
I am happy. One room, happy. Toilet outside, happy. Chawl, happy. Me, my wife and 2 kids, happy.
Yeah.
And if you're happy, how will you go to the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and then 10 bedroom hall kitchen? Think
Yeah.
about it.
There is a driving
There
force.
is a driving force.
Yeah, driving
So
force.
when you say I'm settled, there is nothing like anger or unrest or greed or envy or anything inside me. It means you have settled it down. फिर कुछ नहीं होने वाला तुम्हारी लाइफ में.
So do you think that is a point where somebody has just kind of given up, or say some part of it has just become dormant or died out? Would you be?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So it's just that I feel that I think they must have tried very hard and not succeeded. So this is there maybe it's an excuse. See, there are 2 kinds. One is an excuse. I don't want it because I don't need it.
Yeah.
That's one part of it, right? Second one is I don't want it because I'm truly happy.
Okay.
Now, if you're truly happy, you still don't accomplish the next level.
Right.
If you're truly have given up, you still can't. Anyway, you can't accomplish the next level, no?
Yeah.
So,
कहीं तो बढ़ना ही है.
कहीं तो बढ़ना ही है. I'm very happy. मैं बहुत फास्ट भागूंगा. ऐसे कहाँ होता है यार? मैं बहुत happy हूँ. गार्डन में टहलने जाऊँगा. इतना ही होगा. And so people speak about rat race and competition. I'm like, listen, don't compete against anybody. You just compete with yourself.
Yeah.
And that sounds very philosophical, theoretical, but the fact is, how do I put this? You have been given a talent or a competence. You're worth something,
Yes.
right? You are capable of something. It is God's gift to you if you believe in God,
Right.
okay? Or your parents' gift to you if you believe in parents. Right? So something is been given to you unless you explore it to the fullest potential possible.
To the next
How are you doing justice to anything?
Right.
How are you doing justice to God's so-called, gift
Yeah.
to you, your parents' gift to you, your life's gift to you? You're alive today. So are you supposed to live as though you're alive today or
It's
be
like
semi-dead?
Yeah, like one day.
आज one more day. तो वही तो है. तो anger यहाँ से ख्याल आया कि anger cannot be bad. It can't be. As a matter of fact, it's good. Every person who's grown up in life or done something phenomenal with their life, and for the world especially, it has stemmed from an emotion called anger. It's
Right.
come from there.
Right.
And I am completely convinced that get rid of all the anger management classes.
Yeah.
No, sorry, anger resolution classes or anger dispelling classes. Get into anger channelization.
Right.
I mean, teach people how to channelize that anger. You have energy, go and punch the punching bag. Let your arms hurt, automatically your anger will stop. Right? Go run for 2 kilometers and come back. हाँ, कौन सा anger सांस नहीं लेगा, anger कहाँ से बचेगा? Simple. अगर हम गुस्सा अगर बहुत काम करेंगे ना, ठीक है, वो गुस्सा बचेगा ही नहीं. Gussa needs fuel,
Yeah.
and fuel is seeing sitting there. That's fuel. When you do very heavy activity, when you're angry,
You're burning it.
you're burning it.
Burning it up.
It's a good word.
Yeah.
I like it. You're burning the anger. So, yeah. So I truly believe that you can use any negative emotion,
Yeah.
especially anger, to create a fantastic life for yourself and for
Yes. So one thing, I mean, which I took back is, like when we say that, oh, why would you give me a feedback? So there's a part of that, that what's your feedback? So from where did, that stem from? So did it come from, from your profile of the corporate world, or, it came from a domestic profile?
So the topic was when they ask for feedback, they're not asking for feedback. Right?
Yeah. So it's a rhetorical.
Who please give me feedback? Who comes to you to ask you, give me a feedback, tell me how shitty I am? Nobody says. When we come for feedback, then we appreciate it. Right? So that came from all the training programs and consulting and coaching work that we do.
Yeah.
So especially the training part of it. Coaching is one-on-one. It's quite,
Right.
it's easier in a way because when you give feedback, it's true feedback. When somebody is doing a shitty job, you tell them you're doing a shitty job. But that's one-on-one, and you can always cover it up, and you should always cover it up with something positive. So it's a very different way of giving feedback, actually preach. But during training programs especially, you'll always find people who will come and ask you for feedback. Right? When they give a presentation or do a role play or do an activity, at the end of the day, they want to know, so do you have some feedback for me? And long back I tried giving feedback.
Like the truth, what you said about
Yeah. Okay. they never came back. Yeah, so I realized that it's an inherent human need to be appreciated. And when someone says give me feedback, they really truly mean please appreciate me, I put in efforts. Please appreciate me, I've done something. And do not even for a moment think that after all the appreciation, you should still tell them what is wrong. Nah. If they ask for feedback, it means you tell them how good they are.
Yeah.
Don't flatter them, tell them the truth, but tell them what is good. And they say, no, anywhere I can improve, you can tell them, we talk about this on some other day.
Okay. So that day you're not supposed to burst the bubble.
No, exactly. Exactly. They come with you eagerly to understand. Very few people really want to come and ask you, where can I improve? But then you need to read that body language. When they come and say, no, don't tell me all that, don't just tell me where I need to improve. There is burning ambition in them.
Yeah.
There is a desire for them to move forward, to learn something new. You can see it.
So the fuel has to be fueled back.
Yeah, the fuel has to be fueled back. Good one. So you can see that. So you just have to be observant about. So that came from the corporate world. Yes,
yeah.
it came from the corporate world where people think giving feedback is. So they ask us to train people to give feedback.
Right.
And there never is a situation where the feedback has to be positive. So when you say feedback, you mean critique.
Yeah.
So they don't use the word critique, they say feedback.
Right.
तो feedback क्यों बुलाते हो? Feedback का मतलब अच्छा भी हो गया ना? So yeah, so that's the corporate से ही आया. वहीं से नौकरी से और अपने bosses से और सबके पास से ही आया. So that's why I don't think I ever asked somebody for feedback unless I trust that the person will tell me the truth. Yes, and I also know my reaction. 50% of the time, I still used to in the a long time back be very defensive. I can see myself now. If someone gave me feedback here, I would be so defensive and justified.
Yeah.
Today it's come down by about 50, 60, 70%. But it's still 30% of where I still want. Yes, what so self-realization.
Yeah, but see, I mean, what I feel is that we human beings are always work in progress, right? And kind of the quest what we should have is that how am I my own better version than yesterday's?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So we cannot, be the best because we are still working, we are still work in progress. So I think, I mean, the book is, of a compass, which helps you probably every morning to figure out, that what is it that I need to steer myself for. And I mean, the last 1 week I've really embedded, like whatever has been written by you. So when you're writing this book, I'm sure, you were in different mindsets, right? Sometimes you may be, at a very highlight condition and at times you may not have been in a great space. Do you identify some chapters in this, which you wrote very specifically in the spectrum, whether you were at your highest point or, or not a great
This
moment?
book got completed in 4 days.
4 days.
Oh,
Wow.
It was like this that I had written some thoughts about it in something called the wisdom capsules. I read that every day.
Yeah.
So some of these topics just came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
right? So just started writing it because I didn't find a good book to write from. So the wisdom capsules is where I pick up a book, read a chapter, and then I summarize that chapter into into handwritten notes, and then post it for people to read and for me to read. Right? So there was a small period where I couldn't find a book good enough to read. I ran through 3 to 4 books at a time, and then I couldn't find a book which I wanted to read, wanted to write about. So then I said, "Chhodna yaar, let me write something that I'm thinking, right?" So I started with the first one. I must have been one of those, I don't remember which one. So I started with the one. So I was able to write something. I said, "Let me continue this till I find a good book to write."
So the flow was on.
The flow was on. So some kind of notes had already happened over a period of about a month or so, right? But the actual book writing, I believe everybody can write a book in about 10 days.
Okay. Wow.
I promise. Right?
But you need that kind of
nothing.
Nothing. There is no, kind of a magic trick.
No. The trick is there, but there is no magic. Right? You can make it look magical, but I'm not going to make it look magical. I was in the zone of creativity. And then Mata Lakshmi and Saraswati came. No, I'm not going to bullshit about it. It's not the truth, Vijaya.
Yeah.
The truth is, it takes discipline, it takes structure. You need to be clear here. Which means that people think when they start writing, it will flow. Nothing flows unless. मैं menstrual flow बोलने वाली थी, लेकिन नहीं बोल रही तो कट कर दो. It's okay, right? Yeah, nothing flows, right? So what flows is your hand. So if you sit down And so I always believe that don't write a book in parts. People say, I will write on every Sunday, take out 2 hours for writing. No, it doesn't work that way, right? Everything there needs to be a warm up. The minute you're warming up, you stop and say, 2 ghanta ho gaya. I don't know that. So when you start writing, do not stop writing. Take a sabbatical for 10 days, take a break, sit, only write. Food on your table.
Yeah.
The only break you take is to the loo and back. That's it. Do not get distracted with anything, just sit and write. So when this book was written, I think I wrote 14 to 16 hours in a day, maybe even more, maybe 18 hours in a day. Not over in 4 days. Right? Because when you start, when your mind starts thinking, you can't suddenly put a stop and say, oh, time for my jogging and yoga. No jogging, no yoga. Come back later.
Yeah.
No, not for me. मेरा jogging yoga नहीं होता. मुझे देखिए समझ सकते हैं, लेकिन yeah. So anything, yeah, any break that you want, I want to call. No, don't. Just sit and write. So as a matter of fact, when I wrote this book in 4 days, I had taken 2 people with me, and I trained them, 2 young girls. Both of them finished their book in 5 days.
Oh, you mentored also simultaneously.
So 3 of us finished our book in 5 days. The 3 books. So one book is getting published now, this September, because it's a birthday on 30th of September. The other one she's looking for a publisher. Okay. So it is possible to finish a book. So when you ask about state of mind, the state of mind is this book has to be completed. Okay. That's the only state of mind. That's it. Has to. Both ho gaya na. People take years to write a book. Years. How can it take years? I mean, what thought you began with, you have changed. Your mindset has changed. How will your book capture or go with the flow? It breaks in the flow. You start off as a young girl, in love, and then you write off romantic things, and suddenly got married, and so suddenly everything changed. Yeah. The story is completely changed, and you're wondering, was it written by 2 different people or the same person?
Same.
So everybody, even be it fiction or non-fiction,
okay,
books have to be written in a single setting in one flow.
Okay. So the continuum is there.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? And when you sit, believe me, it will take you about a couple of hours to kind of get in the mood. But once you start, then you can't stop the flow. Unless somebody is ringing the bell, in which case you put off the bell and you don't get distracted. So this was finished in 4 days, but the book before this was finished in 10 days.
Okay.
And the book before that was finished in 12 days.
Oh, so you are...
But before, first book was written in 5 years. No, 10 years. It took 10 years to write one book. I mean, why did it take 10 years? So I realized that it's not about mindset or creativity. You can compel your creativity to flow provided you bring it into a dhacha of discipline. Sit and say, I will write. I will not eat till I write.
Yeah.
I will not go to the loo till I write. No, damn it, creativity has to flow.
Yeah.
If you are serious about it, conditions on the अगर लिखना है तो अपने आप को जबरदस्ती करके लिखा है, बहाने मत बनाओ कि दिन में 1 घंटा में लिखूंगा, फिर 1 घंटा में सोचूंगा, ऐसा दोनों होता है. So for me, when you're getting down to some task, even book writing, right, even art for that matter, you said something very profound sometime back. So then you said about creativity. You spoke about.
I'm sorry, I don't.
अरे आपने बहुत अच्छा कुछ बताया, बताइए. Yeah, you spoke about the fact that creativity cannot, it has to be, done. You spoke about how it has to be done, It's not about the mood.
The
mood part of it, yeah.
The moodometer doesn't exist.
So when you need to create something, the moodometer does not exist. Yeah. Because you know what, you're using acrylic. It will dry in exactly 5 minutes.
Right. Yes.
तो मेरा mood में से white है, मैं black के लिए कल सुबह आऊँगी. नहीं होगा. The mood के ऊपर तो निर्भर है. Every artist you work with, they will say I'm creative and I'm moody. No. Right. When they get down to completing a task, be it Botticelli or be it Van or be it Michelangelo, be it anybody, they got down to business. Right. They finished it in the time stipulated, and if they didn't, they were all successful.
So, coming from there, the best of the artworks across the world have been commissioned works, right? So it's never been, like Da Vinci has done the fresco because he loved to do. He was paid to do it, and he needed to run his house, so he better do a good job. So he got the next one, right?
Right.
Yeah. So most of the artists who are, still there or are functioning, they are working more with a propelling fuel of being commissioned to do the task. So it's a task, what I would say, that makes you do it in a certain time frame. So picking up from the time frame thing, I would just want to shift the topic from your angle is good to the 23 elements, and it's something like what it says, the 23 elements personal vision journal. Okay, so here once again the kind of the keywords what you have used: personal, vision, and I'm journaling. Okay, so you are using all the three what you call not your indriyas to have a goal. So what comes to me, coming from an educator point of view also, that I mean this is just a small feedback, sorry to say, feedback or a suggestion that I mean this should be on a school curriculum, because it gives such a structure to a child's life, where you are saying that the youngest one has been 5 years old,
Yes.
and the oldest has been 80 plus.
Yes.
How should a student, or how should, like a learner for life, right, should be planning in all the three different verticals of life, right from health, being spiritual, the money, the studying, the family, the social. So now it just encompasses, broken down in a very simplified language, and of course you have the mood board and the vision board here, and then the tips and the tricks to write it down. I truly suggest that it should be there in the life skill classes for the schools, because trust me, most of the educators, they struggle with the concept, of showing a goal to a child, right? So it's very, very important for us to have a goal. So, there's something that, don't call it a dream, make it a plan, right?
Nice.
So, yeah. So, I may have lots of the dream, but if I don't move towards that, or if I'm not using the fuel to make my dream a goal and make it into a plan and then see it, in the actuals. So, 23 elements did give me something to do, which I'm going to start. I am going to start this for myself, but it's just that this is a very structured life planning document, what I could say that, right? That you are mapping your entire life. And when you said that, one should have like a short-term goal, then like a middle term and a long term. So to see oneself with a vision of how I would want to grow, whatever, as a person, as a, from a social life, from a financial background, whatever it is, how should I move from to today, right? If I have to do something 10 years from now, you have broken it down very simply, in a very simplified way, that what can I do to reach there today? What can I do now? Yeah, so this is one small feedback.
Oh, thank you.
That, it should go in a school library, or as one of the books in the life skill
class that they have.
Yeah, what we have. Or some schools would be having something like an after school class where they do more like a modern science, what we used to have. Nowadays they call it the life skill class. I truly would be promoting this for a school curriculum, so that we give a path forward to the youth, and that is the future what we have over here.
Oh, thank you so much. What I really appreciate about what you said. Yeah, very nice, Heather. So what I really appreciate the fact that you said you also read the testimonials.
Yes, I did.
Correct? Which is
I did.
very humbling. Thank you. It's
so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so we have the audience now.
Yes.
I'm asking you the question.
First of all, thank you very much. And I know about the anger. I was told from my kids that he Germany.
Yeah, we should call her critical, actually.
Because perfectionist in everything, cleanliness, punctual, obedient, like that. But after some years, मैं क्यों यहाँ बता रही हूँ, after certain age, वो anger मुझे कहीं ना कहीं डिस्टर्ब करता है. कैसे? एंगर का लूप आप जैसे बता सेम थिंग बाथरूम में दो लूप ये मैं करूँ वो, लेकिन आफ्टर सर्टन एज इज पासिंग थ्रू तो मुझे लगता है कि वो एंगर कहीं ना कहीं मुझे बैक साइड ऑफ माय माइंड कहीं इफेक्ट करता है, और मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो मेरे एम्प्लॉइज है उनको भी थोड़ा थोड़ा असर करता है. वाइब्रेशन तो होता ही है, जाता ही है, तो कहीं ना कहीं ये एंगर कहीं एनर्जी बनती है, और कहीं ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि पीपल को आपसे थोड़ा डिस्टेंस क्रिएट करने के लिए मजबूर करते हो. ऐसा
आपको
ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
देखिए ऐसा है ना कि अगर हम गुस्सा होते हैं और अगर लोगों को पता है कि हम गुस्सा होते हैं तो कहीं मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोगों को ये इजाजत दे रहे हैं, ये एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं कि गुस्सा नॉर्मल. हम लोगों को बता रहे हैं कि भाई इट्स ओके, हमेशा शांत शांत नहीं रह सकता है और हमें रहना नहीं रह सकता है। और क्या जानबूझकर कौन गुस्सा होता है? कोई नहीं। कोई चीज आपको बहुत हर्ट किया होगा या कोई चीज आपको बहुत डिस्टर्ब हुआ, तब आप गुस्सा होते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं विद योर ओन पीपल, आई फील कि आपका एंगर अगर लोगों को दिखता है तो आई ऑल्सो फील कि आप अपना एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्लैरिफाई कर रहे हैं। वो गुस्सा इसलिए आया है उनको सब, अगर वो आपके लोग हैं तो समझेंगे करे नहीं मैम को इसलिए गुस्सा आया क्योंकि इनको इस तरह चाहिए था, हमने किया नहीं तो इसलिए उनको गुस्सा आया, वरना नॉर्मली उनको गुस्सा नहीं आता। ठीक है, दैट्स वन थिंग। सो यू आई डोंट थिंक इट्स अ नेगेटिव थिंग एट ऑल, इट्स वेरी पॉजिटिव। मुझे ये भी लगता है कि इसी से अपने लिए भी एक लेसन है। जैसे अगर हम किसी चीज को लेकर गुस्सा होते हैं और अगर हमने उस टाइम पे किसी को डांट दिया है, किसी को कुछ बोल दिया, तो हमारे लिए भी रियलाइजेशन है कि यार पहले से एक्सपेक्टेशन क्लियर हमने नहीं की। So if we can learn from that moment of anger, then it's absolutely worth it. So which means that, and if you've done, if you can go back and say, मैंने जो बताया और मैंने नहीं बताया, for example, ठीक है, जिस तरह मैंने बताया उनको समझा नहीं, इसलिए उन्होंने वैसा नहीं किया, मुझे गुस्सा आ गया। तो वो खत्म होने के बाद I'm so feeling guilty, I'm thinking channelize it ना, use it as a learning and a lesson कि हाँ मुझे expectation बहुत clear करना है, मुझे वो गुस्सा होने के बाद कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं करना है, गुस्सा होने के पहले कॉन्वर्सेशन करना है। ठीक है, if we could do that with every time we got angry, be it children, be it husband, be it friend, be it mom, be it daughter, be it your team, if you can tell them in advance what will make you angry, I think that anger over a period of time चला ही जाएगा। हाँ, कुछ रहेगा नहीं, आपके चैनल उल्टा आपको नया चीज ढूंढना पड़ेगा गुस्सा करने के लिए। तो I just feel expectations, जैसे अगर बच्चे घर को साफ नहीं रखते, बहुत अच्छा लगता है। अभी देखिए, I'm very very honestly मैंने 2-3 बार ऐसे हुआ जहाँ पर मैं घर पर गई और घर बहुत बिखरा हुआ था, मुझे ना घर फैला हुआ नहीं पसंद। ठीक है, मैं घर जब गया एक होटल में, मुझे याद है कि उस कोविड के टाइम पर होटल का रूम ना वो शायद एवरी ऑल्टरनेट डे को साफ कर देते हैं, राइट? तो कोई बात नहीं, मैं क्या करती हूँ हमेशा होटल रूम निकलने के पहले भी I will pull the bedsheet properly, tuck it in, put everything in order and then go, ताकि by remote chance अगर ये रूम नहीं हुआ, शाम को मेरा दिमाग खराब नहीं होना चाहिए। ठीक है, तो एक बार ऐसा हो गया कि didn't I just put it normally and went away when I came back in the evening the room was not clean, जबकि वहाँ बोर्ड पे लिखा था Tuesdays will clean the room, उस दिन Tuesday था, उसने clean नहीं किया। I was so angry। ठीक है, I immediately मतलब I got said ये नहीं acceptable है, यहाँ लिखा है Tuesday आप साफ करेंगे। ठीक है, तो मुझे लगता है expressing my anger, next day by the time I came in the evening back, oh believe me the room was so clean. Right, so it upsets you and so you get angry. So somewhere बच्चों के साथ भी कल पे देखिए, आज when I go back home after a 2-3 day travel, 5-day travel, whenever I'm traveling and back, the house man is spick and span. Husband goes out of his way to keep everything in its place. Children go out of their way. They will replace the bed sheet only because 2 or 3 times I got really angry. So which means that anger is good.
It's good. It's good. No, the same thing I am doing also. What we do when I left, I don't like it. When I'm going outside, even my bedroom, early in the morning flight पकड़नी, तो भी मेरा bedroom में एकदम clean करके आओ कि जब मुझे रात को 12 बजे
रिटर्न पे आओ तो साफ
रिटर्न 12 बजे की रिटर्न फ्लाइट के बाद मैं 1 बजे घर पे पहुंच कर मेरा बेडरूम खोलूं तो एटलीस्ट मुझे लगे कि मैं आराम से सो
जाऊं। हाई फाई लेना है एग्जैक्टली, घर पे लौटो, घर साफ होना चाहिए ना, सिंपल।
सो नाउ लेकिन मेरे को डांट यूं पड़ती है कि चिल्लाओ, ऐसा तो होता ही है, उसमें इतना मत करो।
उनको बोला यू चिल्लाओ, यू चिल्लाओ।
हम लोग तो चिल्लिए, आप इतनी छोटी छोटी चीज को इतना इम्पोर्टेंस देकर व्हाई यू आर नॉट एंजॉयिंग लाइफ? मैंने बोला व्हाट्स एंजॉयिंग राइट नाउ? I have frustrations here. Okay,
it's amazing. I like it. I like what she's saying. ठीक है? You're telling me to enjoy life, but I'm not enjoying this moment where this culture आ रहा है. Good one.
See, means the like-minded people is there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that's a good question. Thank you. ये घर करो ना साफ, क्या आप क्यों परेशान करते हो इनको आप लोग यार? तो बेडरूम ठीक तो करो यार।
घर के दूसरे सदस्य कोशिश cleaning it for them.
होता है अभी now I am used to it, they are also used to, so they are trying to best.
All right.
अच्छा सब लगे।
ऋषि क्यों नहीं डाला? बराबर है, क्यों नहीं डाला तू?
नहीं।
So, do we have any more questions from the audience? Would just like, or would you like to share something?
I was saying that I was one of the first people to read your book, and I I've always been angry as a child as well. You know, my parents tell me, no, you can't do sports. I'm like, I'm going to show you. And then, oh, you can't score well. I top my university. So anger has always been a motivator for me as well. So really resonated with us.
You?
The next question for me is that कि after you thought that anger is good, anger का हो गया गुस्सा कर लिया, लेकिन immediately do you feel something ill or you something feel proud for yourself that your ego is boosting or you feel कि कहीं ना कहीं मेरी फीलिंग्स को थोड़ा जरा दुख हुआ तो मैं अपसेट हो गई या some drain out my energy or my positivity is somewhere drain out. Do you feel like that?
तो मैं झूठ बोलूं सच बोलूं?
सच ही बोलना है.
सच बोलना है.
तो सच तो ये है कि तीनों चीजें जहाँ पर मुझे लगता है कि सामने वाला बिल्कुल गलत था और मैं चुप नहीं रही, मतलब there is a possibility no कि आप चुप नहीं रहे, you voiced it out, you told the person what is wrong and what is irritating you. At that time you feel a tremendous amount of satisfaction, especially when it is outside. जैसे हम कुछ गलत देख रहे हैं तो जाकर खड़े हो गए, बोले ये नहीं अलाउड है भाई, है ना, वो बोल दिया तो गुस्सा वहाँ दिखा दिया, तो at that time it's tremendous satisfaction to your own ego. You feel great. You said yes, hundreds of people have kept quiet. I have not kept quiet about this and have pointed it out. I feel good about it. That's one part of it. If I show anger to somebody who's close to me, like my teammates or my family or whatever, I feel tremendously guilty. Correct? I feel extremely bad कि यहाँ तक पहुँचा ही क्यों? ये गुस्सा यहाँ तक आया ही क्यों? Right? कि मुझे ये बोलना पड़ा है, मुझे गुस्सा दिखाना पड़ा, सामने को दुख वाले को दुख हुआ, मुझे दुख हुआ, यहाँ तक पहुँचा ही क्यों? So what did I do wrong? Maybe I should have been more expressive about what I wanted. Maybe that would have made it easier, right? So yes, second part is guilt. अपनों के साथ guilt feel होता है. तो बाहर वालों के साथ typically you feel happy and egoistic and proud and good. With your internal people you feel really anxious and you feel a little upset and you feel guilty. You also feel very happy. I feel very happy when I have channelized that anger. 4 दिन का काम एक दिन में खत्म किया, वाह बढ़िया. हाँ, 40 महीना बुक लिख सकते थे, 4 दिन में कंप्लीट किया, wonderful. So there is it's a mix of emotions that comes in depending on who is that anger and channelized to or who's the recipient of the anger. It is very very person specific or situation specific. Right? So that's about it. So it is अगर अच्छा बोलना तो बोलते नहीं, गुस्सा करने के बाद एक बहुत अंदर से एक शांति ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, कभी शांति नहीं महसूस होती, वो काम करने के बाद शांति महसूस होती है कि फिर देखो लोग कहते हैं फिर से गुस्सा कब आने वाला है, कपड़े भी साफ करना है, अरे every time I've been so angry at that कपड़े is a mess, I'm getting so angry and believe me 8 घंटे बैठ के everything is fixed. I'm very proud of myself. काम कंप्लीट होता है तो प्राइड, अपनों पर गुस्सा करते हैं तो दुख होता है, गिल्टी फील होता है, और कोई सही चीज है या कोई गलत चीज हो रहा है सामने, you feel very proud and feel very happy. Right? Yeah, that's true.
So I think that should be the signing note. That how we feel and how should we be channelizing the anger to manifest a better version of the situation and of oneself. Thanks so very much.